There's another layer to this story, one most people never want to face, because if it's true, it changes everything we thought we knew about evil, control, and accountability. It isn't mysticism, it isn't prophecy, it's policy. Cold, signed, stamped. To see it, we have to enter the hidden world that built it, a world called Project MKUltra. Welcome back to the Fairshake Files. In our last episode, we pulled apart the official story of Helter Skelter, stripping away prophecy and panic to reveal something far more ordinary and far more believable. A tangle of drug debts, failed ambitions, and a justice system desperate for a villain it could understand. But that story left one question hanging in the smoke. Who built the stage that Charles Manson walked onto? Because chaos rarely appears on its own. It's cultivated, funded, sometimes designed. MKUltra wasn't rumor. It grew from earlier projects like Artichoke, which explored whether a person could be made to involuntarily perform an act of assassination. It became a vast CIA program devoted to controlling behavior and erasing memory, born of Cold War panic and the illusion that the human mind could be rewritten like magnetic tape. Through Operation Paperclip, America imported Nazi scientists from Dachau and Ravensbrück. They brought notebooks, and America brought funding. On April 13, 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles authorized chemist Sidney Gottlieb to run MKUltra. 80 universities, hospitals, and prisons joined the web. Stanford, Harvard, McGill, even small local hospitals that never knew who truly paid the bills. The methods read like a horror index. High-dose LSD, electroshock, sensory deprivation, hypnosis layered on trauma. Patients believed they were receiving treatment. In truth, they were being erased. At McGill University, Dr. Ewan Cameron subjected patients to weeks of psychic driving, recordings looped in their ears while they lay drugged and restrained. In San Francisco, Operation Midnight Climax disguised CIA safe houses as brothels, so agents could watch men through one-way mirrors after dosing them. Across more than 150 fronts, researchers studied hypnosis, isolation, and toxic chemicals, all asking the same question: could a person be forced to act against their will and forget? Declassified 1955 memos listed the goals: promote illogical thinking, increase dependency, and induce amnesia. Subjects were often prisoners or psychiatric inmates, people who couldn't refuse, already broken. Exactly the kind of man Charles Manson was. During the years Manson moved through the prison system, MKUltra was in full operation, testing drugs and psychological conditioning behind institutional walls. Prisons and psychiatric hospitals made ideal laboratories, controlled populations, minimal oversight, and endless human subjects. One of those facilities was the California Medical Facility, the state's psychiatric prison at Vacaville. It was built for inmates considered too unstable for ordinary custody. Long before Vacaville, Manson had lived inside institutions, trained by structure, shaped by survival. By the time he was transferred there for what doctors called a deteriorating mental condition, he was already fractured. Vacaville's public mission was rehabilitation. Behind closed doors, it became something else. In the early 1960s, the facility admitted to using thousands of inmates in chemical and medical experiments, including pesticide and drug trials. During those same years, CIA-funded psychiatrist Dr. James Hamilton tested what he called behavioral control materials, code for LSD and psychochemicals, on prisoners already involved in those studies. It was the perfect intersection. The criminal underclass meeting the intelligence community's obsession with control. A laboratory wearing the mask of reform. Years later, when Watergate threatened exposure, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the program's records destroyed. The evidence burned, but the idea that behavior could be engineered survived. The trail leads to one man, Dr. Louis Jolyon West, nicknamed Jolly. He studied brainwashing in Korean War POWs, examined Jack Ruby after he shot Oswald, and later diagnosed Patricia Hearst following her ideological conversion. Whenever politics met psychology, West appeared with a clipboard. A documented MKUltra contractor, he submitted CIA proposals describing how drugs and hypnosis could implant false memories. His curiosity didn't stop at people. He once injected an elephant with an overdose of LSD to study psychosis. The animal died within minutes. West called the result inconclusive. By 1967, he operated out of San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury district, officially studying the hippie scene, unofficially embedding the agency's leading mind control expert at the heart of America's youth movement. A later CIA review admitted West was there purportedly at the behest of the agency. The crossroads was the Haight-Ashbury Free Medical Clinic. Manson was treated there. His parole officer Roger Smith worked there. Dr. West conducted studies there. Founder Dr. David Smith later confirmed that West could recruit subjects. Roger Smith, no relation, ran an amphetamine research project. Most parole officers managed 40 cases. Roger Smith had one. Manson. Arrests for assault, theft, and trafficking minors vanished into paperwork. When local supervisors tried to intervene, Washington, D.C. overruled them. Roger Smith wasn't a parole officer. He was a handler, an institutional firewall protecting an active operation. Days after the Tate LaBianca murders, police raided Spahn Ranch and arrested everyone. It should have ended there. Instead, the entire group was released. The warrant, they said, was misdated. Each glitch alone could be written off as error. Together they start to look like design. Soon after, a key phone call from Bobby Beausoleil disappeared from evidence. Then came Reeve Whitson, an alleged intelligence operative with ties from the CIA to Hollywood. A friend of Jay Sebring, acquainted with Polanski, orbiting Manson himself. Photographer Shahrokh Hatami testified that Whitson phoned him about the murders 90 minutes before police were notified. He later appeared during witness interviews, reportedly working with prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi to pressure testimonies. That isn't civic duty. That's cleanup. If chaos was the product, who profited? The answer may lie with COINTELPRO, the FBI's counterintelligence program. Its mission: expose, disrupt, misdirect, discredit, or otherwise neutralize domestic groups deemed subversive. Targets included civil rights leaders, anti-war organizers, and student activists. Tactics ranged from forged letters and planted stories to provoking violence between factions. One memo ordered agents to prevent the rise of a messiah who could unify the movement. Another bragged that internal feuds and paranoia were accomplishing objectives. Under COINTELPRO, the Black Panthers were infiltrated until they imploded. The Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee collapsed under manipulation. Martin Luther King Jr. was wiretapped and blackmailed. And when the Manson murders dominated headlines, public faith in the counterculture evaporated. Flower children became potential cultists. Peace rallies looked like threats. Hoover didn't need to invent a new operation. He'd been handed the perfect one. Whether or not intelligence directly touched Manson, the result fulfilled COINTELPRO's objectives: a frightened nation and a generation discredited. MKUltra fractured the mind. COINTELPRO fractured the movement. The Manson case sat squarely between the two. We end with 3 versions of the same story. The official account: a charismatic cult leader, a doomsday fantasy, justice served. The criminal account: a drug dispute and small-time criminals spinning into violence. And the institutional account: a human experiment that escaped containment. Critics argue the institutional version is circumstantial. No smoking gun memo linking Manson to the program. But that objection ignores something undeniable. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered nearly all MKUltra records destroyed. To demand proof from an archive deliberately incinerated is to set an impossible standard. The gun, and the hand that held it, were turned to ash. What remains is uncomfortable. Charles Manson was shaped, sustained, and released by systems already testing how far the mind could bend. When we call him a monster, we may be complimenting his creators. The Manson case forces us to look beyond one man's madness to the machinery that manufactured fear. That machinery had another name: COINTELPRO. Next, we open that file. The FBI's secret war against its own citizens. From Martin Luther King to the Black Panthers. From students to ordinary Americans who simply asked questions. We'll give the Bureau its fair shake, its motives, its fears, and ask the question it never wanted on record. How far can a democracy go to protect itself before it becomes the thing it fears? To make sure you don't miss our next investigation, please subscribe or follow the Fairshake Files on your favorite platform. The series is available as both a video documentary on YouTube and as a podcast on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all major platforms. We welcome your thoughts. Leave a comment or a review to join the conversation. Thank you for watching and listening.